Who thinks lab radars are annoying? They're big, weird size. You've got to have a tripod for them. You've got to carry around a battery pack because the buttons get turned on every 2 seconds and kill your batteries. You've got to align them to the target, and you've always got to come off your gun to push the buttons and operate it. Not the biggest fan, but the capabilities and what it does, it's better than everything on the market. So what if you could have a lab radar and all of the good qualities, but you could have it be this big? Well, let's check it out and see if it's any good. This is called the Bulletseeker Mach4 by Longseeker. It's a bit of a mouthful, but if it works, who cares? So it's about the size of a really fat, really short flashlight. You know, in my hand, it's not that big really. It's not really heavy. It weighs about 200 grams. So yeah, you could definitely have this on your rifle all of the time, you know, for a practice session, and not really have any issues with it being there and not really notice it. And that's something that I guess to some people will be exciting. You could literally leave it on for a whole practice session, get like a 40-50 round string for your velocity, just to see what your velocity is actually doing over, you know, a longer string of fire. I'm not really sure if you would benefit from that with the type of shooting we do for PRS. 1,000 meters in, can't really see that making a big difference. I think 5 to 10 shots would probably be enough to just get your velocity. Because I mean, realistically, your zero's never always going to be perfect. You know, you'll always be within a tenth. So, you know, whatever velocity change you have over the course of a day, or, you know, if your average is, you know, 5 feet per second faster or slower, you know, that's going to be within a tenth anyway. So, but yeah, it's definitely something interesting that we'll definitely do to see if there is any merit to actually doing that, because this definitely opens up that capability because it seems so much more practical than a lab radar. It mounts with Picatinny, nice and easy. The Picatinny mounts, very simple. You know, not the best in the world, but it's perfectly sufficient for what it's required to do. It's got 2 threaded holes in the body, and it's fully round underneath, so you can make up whatever you want to mount it to things. You could definitely just get a Picatinny to Arca adapter and run it that way. Me, because I run the Manners PRS TCS and there's no real way to mount anything to it, and I haven't drilled any holes in it to put a pick rail on it yet, I'm just going to take this off and literally tape it to the gun. We'll see how that goes. I think if it works, it'll definitely be a thumbs up for the product. I think if it doesn't, then it'll highlight sensitivity issues with the device, but I honestly don't see it being an issue. I don't see why it would be an issue, because this doesn't need to be pointed to the target. You just mount it to your gun with the degrees of you know, the scope of where it looks and how it's tracking the bullet. It shouldn't really be an issue, based on my understanding of how it works, because it is a radar just like a lab radar. It just works on a different frequency, a much higher frequency. And yeah, I mean, it's a very simple device. It's got a USB-C, I think it is, charging port. I'm not an Android person, I don't know what that kind of shit is. You push the button once, turns on, flashes some lights for you. There you go. Then it'll start flashing blue to say that it's searching for your phone. If you Bluetooth, and you push it once again and it turns off. So yeah, nice and simple, nice and easy. Just connect it to your phone, put your phone next to you, and you can operate the device with your phone. No need to, you know, crawl forward and operate your lab radar. So let's throw it on the gun, let's do some shooting. Let's zero my 6.5 barrel on my rifle and see how it goes. All right, so we've got the app open on the Android tablet. You turn this on and you click connect. Connects, and there we go, we're ready to go. So it's just that simple. Leave this next to you, put it on the gun, and it'll tell you the velocity, your average, min-max, your SDs, and the extreme spread, which is pretty much all you need to know. As far as other information, you can save strings, you can do profiles, you can go into the settings and change a whole bunch of things, get a whole bunch of data, but I really don't care. I just want to know how fast it's going and the average and the SDs, and yeah, that's it. Then I'm gonna put it back in my bag and forget about it. So let's put it on the rifle, and let's shoot and see how it goes. All right, so these are some hand loads from, I don't know, nearly a year ago, going about 2,700 feet per second, and they're shooting 140 hybrids. So let's zero this and see how it goes. So as you can see, SDs of 6, extreme spread of 15, average 2709. Yeah, I think that's all you really need to know, and it seems to work pretty well. I didn't see how quickly the shots showed up, but you guys would have. So yeah, that's what it's like to use it. And just to show where it is on the rifle, it's just, yeah, about that far from the muzzle, probably, 10 inches. I just taped it onto my car rail, and yeah, it's just sitting there. Obviously point it in the same direction as the muzzle, but yeah, I think it's got 20 degrees of view. So yeah, it seems to work well. I'm happy with that so far. Obviously we'll see how it goes over the next couple of months using it all the time. I'm gonna drill some holes here, put a pick rail, just mount it there, so I can just quickly put it on and off. So if you want your own Bulletseeker, head to solidSolutionDesigns.com. They're in Europe, and these things are all over Europe because it's a European company that's doing it. But all the European retailers are being silly because of distribution agreements, and they're not, allowing you to buy them. So those guys are actually letting you buy the damn things, not being silly. So, hit them up if you want one. They're like $1,100 Australian posted, whatever that is in US, I don't know, probably like $900 or something. So yeah, pretty reasonable for what it is. It seems to work well, at least from what I can see. We'll see what happens over the next couple of months, see if any annoying things arise, if it's, durable, for just, normal throwing in your bag and stuff like that. Yeah, it seems to work well. The app, gives you everything you need. App seems to work well. It'll be better and more practical when the iPhone app comes out. That's coming out in 2 to 3 weeks apparently, and then I can just pair it with my phone, which would be nice and simple. I don't have to carry this stupid Android tablet around that I don't really know how to use because it's Android.
But yeah, remember it does have 20 degrees of you know, angle for its viewing, so don't shadow the muzzle in any way, I guess. I don't really see that as being a huge issue. Just taping it on the side of the rifle was totally fine, and it wasn't really that close to the muzzle either. But yeah, this measures from the muzzle, not like a labradar, like a couple of meters in front. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're setting yours up, and obviously point it in the same direction as the barrel. But yeah, as long as it's a solid mount, it should be totally fine from what I can see. But yeah, hit up solidSolutionDesigns.com and they'll hook you up with one. I'm not affiliated with this product or them in any way. I just like products that actually innovate, and that actually solve, you know, issues that people are having within the industry, which this seems to be doing, at least in, you know, my case and from my perspective. So yeah, that's pretty cool and pretty exciting from my point of view. So yeah, it seems to be a good product so far. Check them out, and yeah, hopefully if you get one, it works well for you as well.